Here, not really. I have no idea what time it is. That's how it works for me usually. So I will say good morning to you. Um, I'm thinking that maybe I will. When I look directly at the screen, it doesn't look like I'm looking at you. So, oh, I'll tell you, these orientations, they want me to turn my camera the other way, like the TikTok way, up and down. I just, this is what feels comfortable to me. This is the way I've always done my live streams. So, something very interesting occurred. I was trying to do my setup, and my little podium that I set my phone on wasn't quite high enough, and it just looked like you were looking up at me, and I just wanted it to be more like it was, we were sitting across the table from each other. So I got something out of my box, and this box that I have it sitting on has got all of my cards in it. My different tarot cards, starseed cards, those sort of things, which kind of will touch base with some of the things I might be sharing this morning. So let me turn that down just a little bit more. Maybe that's better. Is that better? I don't know. Anyways, so I don't even know if there's going to be any notifications going out for this or not. No matter whatsoever. But anyways, as I was pulling, I decided to pull my starseed box out because it's the thickest, and it was the thickness that I needed to set this up, get it to the height that I wanted. And I dropped the box when I was pulling it out of my container, and it fell to the table with the lid off, and one card popped out. One card. And I was like, I felt really strongly that that was not an accident. As we know, there is nothing that's an accident, nothing at all. So I'm gonna start by possibly maybe looking at that. Okay. Oh. I just looked at just the title of it, and I'm gonna cry because I've been in a really, really strange, and I'm gonna tear up a little bit. I can feel that already. And difficult space lately. Peace. I have peace. I'm in joy. I'm not unhappy. It's not that. It's something else. But it's a really weird place to be, and I'm not really sure exactly how to navigate it because it's a new space for me. And this card, the title of it says wait. And I was just having that internal dialogue with all that is about what's occurring right now in my life and how it looks and how it feels. So, Toby, get down. Get down. Toby, get down. Sorry, Toby is my kitty cat, my partner in crime, my roommate, my aggravation most days, and then my salvation some. So somebody's got to love him though, and he is really on it. Toby, stop! And he's going to do this. I'll be right back because I'm going to go get my spray bottle, or he won't stop because he knows what I'm doing. Yes. As soon as he saw that spray bottle, he ran right away, of course. Anyways, as I was saying, and I got my water too, might as well, right? Stay hydrated, really important right now. It's always important, right? But anyways, you think I still don't have the bottle, Toby? I still have it. He knows when I'm either on the phone or I'm otherwise occupied, like my energy's focused at you and not on him. And we're pretty much together all day long. So my focus is usually on him. Because he's my buddy, and we hang out and we talk together and we do things together. And he can feel it immediately when my energy shifts from him to something else. And he's all over it. So I didn't come on Wednesday like I said that I would. And let me check real quick and make sure that my Wi-Fi is on. Is it? Okay, good. But I wasn't feeling well. Physically not feeling well. I polluted my body with some sugar on Halloween and didn't have a good response to it. Just wasn't feeling good. And then by doing that, I lowered my immune system a little bit. And all the colds that were, boy, he's being really, persuasive this morning. Not persuasive, what's the word? Persistent, that's the word I'm looking for, persistent. So, anyways, since I'm going to lose my train of thought, because I'm still not quite up to speed just yet. I'm still a little tired, and I still feel a little bit explain it. Like there's a layer of goo over my being, kind of just holding me in a space where I can't get out of it just yet. And apparently that's a thing. I'm supposed to wait. So, anyway, so what I'm doing this morning is I had said in my previous video that I was going to come on here once a week and just share with you my connection touch points of this new intentional taking earth character Shannon body matter density with the intentions and going through a touchstone and a little ritual, if you will, to connect to the ethereal light grid beings that are at hand, the one that we are. This intentional connection, it already is. We're connected, period. But there's something I find magical always, but especially in this time frame, when you take the intention of your human being and your divine ability to use touch points and to connect in a way that is intentional. Now, see, the thing is, and I know I hear a lot of thoughts and ideas coming through just from the collective that are saying, I've been doing that for years. I mean, the first waivers back in the 50s and 60s, began a lot of this, meditation and focus and being, aware and being awake and being conscious. And I totally get that. Without all that, we wouldn't be where we're at. But right now, as we've been cast into our shadow for a period of time and actually had to completely remove ourselves from the earth story entirely in order to go through this process, and that we re-emerged in the earth story in this newer, more conscious, different frequency. There's something magical about doing it now. And once again, I always say this is my process. This is magical for me. But it may resonate with you, and if it does, wonderful. If not, this is just me making an ethereal expression. With my level of remembrance and understanding, it means something very profound. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it. If someone connects with it and touches base with it and moves forward with it, then great. But doing it now, when we come into such awareness of self, such remembrance of I am, I keep seeing, I don't know if it's coming through on the film, I'll have to go back and look at it, but I've been seeing little lights flashing by, and this is something that, since I've started this, I'm on week number 2 of this process that I was describing to you. If you don't know what I mean, just go back to the first video that came right before this one, and you can touch base with it if you so feel moved. If not, I am doing this for myself, for Gaia, who I'm just incredibly grounded to, and to all of my sky crew, the soul family that I'm connected to, that is non-incarnate at this time and still in their energetic bodies, or becoming something a little more incarnate, a little more 3D, in order to engage with us in this now time. So that's what I'm doing. So I was just going to go through my process. I haven't done it yet today. It's way late in the day, but I haven't done it yet. So what I have right here, you can't really see it. I'll hold it up without. This is my my toned to the letter G heart chakra crystal bowl. It's the only one that I have so far. I want the whole set, and I will eventually get them. I'm still very interested in using sound for myself. I do use sound for myself every day. That's why this is my touchstone, sound. I talked about doing a candle, it just hasn't felt right yet, so this is what I've been doing. And I keep it covered so dust doesn't get in it, and I also know if the cat's tried to get in it, he likes to sleep in it. But my beautiful cloth here, and you know what, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's just a cute little rainbow bandana. This bandana is precious to me because my beautiful, sparkly, angelic, wood sprite, otherworldly sister, Gemma, gave it to me when I was in the desert in Monument Valley. Now, I could feel it getting in my throat right there. A lot of this is connected to all the beautiful souls that I've been connected to in the last 5 years. A lot of what I'm experiencing has to do with that energetic process. It's a process of both letting go in my earthly self and also understanding that there's never anything to let go of because I didn't attain anything and I didn't lose anything. I've always been connected. This has always been as is. So Gemma gave this to me, and she gave one to me and she gave one to Damien too. And it's very precious to me. And so that's why I cover this is a very intentional touch point. I would advise anyone who does this sort of thing, use things that mean something to you, because once again it's frequency, and when your intention and your emotions, your energy in motion is involved in your intentions as an earth character, and it touches the immovable permanent perfection of ether, there's a magic in that. That's how we're doing this whole thing. So that's my first thing, is that I take my little cover off. Thank you, Gemma. I get to think of you and love you and bless you with my heart every day because of this touch point right here. So I'm grateful for that. I love the fact that it has the 7 colors of the 7 rays in it too. And then inside I keep my what do you want to call it? My crystal bowl stick, whatever you want to call it. And then this little box here. And inside, I didn't do this on purpose, but I made this just messing around with copper, making my own organite, just playing around. And this is a crystal that I found here in Arizona, and this is a shungite bead I just happened to have. And so these 2 points were sticking out, and they just looked, I don't know, so I just put those on there. And for some reason or another, I decided to put it in the bottom of my my crystal bowl, and it has some kind of an effect. I can feel it. It's just, once again, more toys in the toy box, right? And then I have my Ting Sha bells, and inside of there is another implement, which I will be bringing out in a minute. So the first thing I do, really important, is some type of breathing exercise, depending on, today I feel like doing the new one that I just learned. It's a Hawaiian one, and if you're a masculine human, if you're a man, if you're incarnate in a man's body, you can do this right here on your chest. But for the divine feminine, the idea is to cross your arms and do it right here where your arm, the thick of your arm meets your shoulder, right here where you're strongest. And it is it's kind of like a breath release, and I love it because it brings me into a state of 0 point like almost immediately. So what I do is I take a deep breath in. Air and water, for my process, absolutely mandatory. I can't even experience the movement of the energy without my body being fully hydrated and filled with holy air. So I just do this. Ha, ha, ha! And what you do is 3 very firm, and just doing just that once, I can feel my whole body responding. You breathe in as deeply as you can, and when I do that, I always take one more little baby breath in to kind of fill that bottom level of expansive lungs to make sure I'm completely expanded. And then as you breathe out, push out, ha, ha, ha. 3 times is what I do. So I'm going to do the 3 times like I normally would if I wasn't sharing this. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. And while I'm physically going through that motion and doing this, my intention in my heart is focusing with those beloveds that are not incarnate, that I'm connected to, that are doing the both and. And I just focus on them and how much I love them, and I know how much they love me and how much they've kept their eye on me this entire time. And you know, this is how the soul family works according to my understanding. And just a small percentage of soul families, of an aspect of these families, is what it feels like to me, actually chose to incarnate as the ground, as the anchor. And many chose to stay non-incarnate and be the outer grid. So it feels to me like there's far fewer, way fewer, like as in a ratio of 10% to 90%, like just a fragment of that soul family to actually anchor down to earth, because that's all really that it's necessary, and it's a really hard run. Being in density is not something that feels comfortable to divinity, especially once it starts to remember itself. So now I filled my lungs with oxygen, and I'm in that 0 point place, and usually what I do is just hit my bowl once to kind of get, see, frequency is profound to me. Whatever is profound for you works for you, but and I don't know, but I find something magical about sitting listening to the tone until I can no longer experience it. And that doesn't mean I can't hear it. I can feel it. It's still going. It hasn't stopped yet. And I find that this regulates my nervous system to a level where I can be on board to make that intentional connection. Okay, so then I do, and then I just do this till it hits a point and I can feel it. And I tone with my bowl. It reverses the roles for me. I imagine that the bowl is the earth anchor and that I am that ethereal receiver that is the as above. And by connecting with it, I imagine in my Sacred Heart Center and in my imagination, the two of us connecting in a profound way through this frequency. And I create that story in my sacred heart and in my mind and in my imagination. And for me, that's it. I'm good. I just made an intentional connection, and now I am, as Earth character Shannon, with my intention and awareness and consciousness, intending upon connection with the ethereal guides, angels, beautiful ones, whatever words you use for your soul family, for your connection. I'm connected. And that's, it's not that I wasn't before, but this, like I said, there's something very magical about you as an earth creature, an earth being intentional and having touch points, because these are just little frequencies. This is frequency, that's all that is. It's just coalesce in a specific way that we both agree that both of us see this little metal heart painted with beautiful little enameled flowers. And this is my second thing that I do. And there's a third thing, and then I'm finished. My son gave me this, my little boy, who I haven't seen for 5.5 years due to circumstances, due to this journey, but completely accept and love every moment of it. But that being said, the truth of it is I haven't seen him in 5.5 years. I haven't spoken to him or had the interaction with him in 2, because of specific energies on the other side that have chosen to shut that down. And I'm in acceptance of it. But this is very magical to me because my little boy understood this sound, and I'll just put it up here so you can hear it. I don't know how it comes across, but in the 3-dimensional, it is a magical. When you hold it towards your ears, there's something about the frequency. And when my little boy found this and he shook it, he knew it was for me. And he asked his daddy if he could buy it for me, and it was not for anything specific like a birthday or a Christmas present. He just wanted to get it for me because he said, I know Mommy will be able to hear the bells. And I know he was making a reference to Polar Express because we would watch that every year at Christmas. And both of us, can hear the bells. I never stopped hearing the bells. And if you don't understand that analogy, go watch the movie and you'll see what I mean. I've never stopped hearing the bells, ever. I've always been a child at heart. So this is just fairy dust, it's magic, it's love, it's everything to me. So the next thing I do is I just sprinkle it all over myself, and I do this repeatedly. And usually, because I've sprayed him, he's not going to come. Toby will come running when he hears this, and he loves me to sprinkle him with it too. He'll just stand there, and he reaches up and tries to grab it, of course, but he'll come running because he knows this sound. So that's the second thing I do. And then my third and final thing that I do is I get my Tingsha symbols out, which are they are tuned to the Om, the crown chakra, the one right above the pineal gland, the one that they would call your halo, whatever you want to call that. It's tuned to that, and this is my final. See, there he is. You want some tinkle bells, Toby? Okay, come here. There you go. Get your tinkle bells for the day. Yes. All right. Okay, you're clawing me. That hurts. Get down. Get down. Thank you. I told you he would come running, and now he's opening the curtain to look outside. Be nice, okay? So I do these, and then I listen to the symbol. I listen to the sound, and I listen to it dissipate. And as it dissipates, when I can no longer experience the vibration from it, once again, it goes way beyond the last time I can hear it. It's feeling the vibration of it. Once I can no longer feel it, then I say, so be it, and so it is. So, one person with one thumbs up is probably at zero infinity. Oh, hi. And welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning, early afternoon, not sure what it is. But anyways, so I'm going to do that, and as this dissipates, this is like the seal for the day. And I've been doing my best to do this every morning with intention, because that's kind of what my heart said to do for this time frame that we're in. So we're going to do this, and then, like I said, this is Om, crown chakra. And like I said, as soon as I can't experience the vibration anymore, I put it away and I'm done. And that's my touch point for, and it made my eyes water because I had a little intention in there. And I've been really emotional when it comes to being connected to you. And that means all of you. That means the royal we, the entirety of the law of one, whatever you want to call it, right? And I think I better put this away because I can see my cat eyeballing it. Like I said earlier in the video, he likes to get in my crystal singing bowl, and that does not make me very happy. So, anyways, I'm just going to cover that back up now. And so that's what I do for my touch point. Now, if you missed the beginning of that, you can go back and watch it again. And it doesn't matter. It's your touch point is specific to you. It could be anything. It could be clapping your hands twice and closing your eyes and saying, peanut butter. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. It's just the fact that you, as a both an incarnate, dense human being, and the and of it, and being an ethereal point of light, connected to the one fractal of all, just however you want to describe it. You're both of those. There's something very beautiful about you being intentional and using something physical in this earth story to actually connect with what already is. It doesn't change that. It just creates a different frequency in the story, in this density, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. So now I'm going to read this card, and I'm going to read what it says in the box too, so bear with me. I'm going to shake things up here for a minute because I'm taking this box down. Pull the book out real quick, and then I'll put the box back up there. But I'm very curious, as this popped out on accident. I don't use my cards much, hardly at all anymore. That's one of the things I was going to discuss this morning. Is one of my questions to Spirit lately is, what's the point? Thank you. What's the point of becoming so remembered of your I am presence and becoming so conscious of what's really going on here in the ethereal ceiling of it all the way down to the lowest and dense part of it all? And my cards are one of them. That's one of the things I was going to say is I don't utilize them very much anymore, because when I first came across them and I realized I had an uncanny ability to utilize these toys to come up with beautiful different clairvoyance, claircognizance, different gifting that I had. I was very enamored at first. It was a beautiful expression. But as I keep, hitting that ceiling of ethereal truths, everything is starting to be, I don't think it is benign, but it's starting to feel somewhat benign. Because I realize that these things are aspects of the Earth story that we're telling, but I've become, I'm in a place of remembrance that has got me asking lots of questions. Let's just put it that way, on an ethereal set. And like I said in the beginning, when I opened up that box to use it as a stand for my camera, that's all I was using it for. This card fell out, and it's beautiful because if you look at the image that I used as a thumbnail, and the one prior to that in this series, and then you look at this beautiful card. Look at that image. If that is not the embodiment of seeing an earth character, making that connection. That's exactly what has been put on my heart. This image, I couldn't pick a better image. It's absolutely beautiful. Let me turn it this way. That way it kind of looks kind of cool too, in that direction. But anyways, it says wait. And see, I'm in this really weird place of limbo. I would definitely call it a limbo. And I feel this urge that I need to be doing something because I feel like it's time to be doing something, and it will be very soon. I just saw something that said the last date of this year will be 1, 2, 3. 12, 31, 23. 3 is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember when you were little kids and you would get ready to do something, you're ready to burst out of the line, get ready to race, getting ready to play dodgeball, whatever it was. You'd say 1, 2, 3, go. And that's what I felt in my heart, that when this year ends and the spring comes into being, we are going to be on go mode, and maybe that's what I'm experiencing. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to read this card because I'm very interested to see what it... Wow, and I opened right to the description. It says, it's not yet time. Things are being woven. And see, just even that description, which was on the card, really, really resonated with what I already knew in my heart. It's just hard to accept right now. I'm in a very strange place, which I'm sure many of you can resonate with. You're in your own journey. You're in your own space, and you're probably reaching some places that I don't know how to operate in this level of undensity, if you will, less density. So it says there are things being woven. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. In our fast, loud, reactive, comparative world, where an instant response is so often expected, at times it's even a currency, it can feel almost impossible to take a breath, let alone give ourselves the space to rest, wait, and reset. Yeah, we're so often in overdrive, expecting instantaneous results over and over again. Thank you, Spirit, for dropping this card out of the box as I butterfingered the box myself, and it fell on the table and you popped out. Because I am 100% guilty of that exact thing. That's what I was talking to myself about. Was I'm looking for instantaneous results, and and repeated ones, because I've had some. And isn't it interesting how there's this thing that within me, and now that I've discovered it, I'm just going to take a deep breath and accept and love that part of my ego that desires to have an instantaneous result in order to be satisfied. And when guidance doesn't come at those extreme speeds, it can feel though something has gone wrong. See, there are no accidents. There's no accident that this fell out this morning. I'm talking to myself and answering myself, which I already had. But you know how sometimes your inner self, you'll get that answer, but it's really hard to look at it. You're like, yeah, that feels like that's the right answer, but I don't want to look at it because that's just not really what I wanted to hear. I wanted it to be easier than that. And this is simple. It's just not necessarily easy, especially when I've discovered a part of ego self that is looking as for an instant result as being something that's an answer. It's what's the word I'm looking at? It's derivative. It's completion. And I'm feeling very much so that it doesn't feel completed. I feel like I'm off track. I feel as if something is not okay because there's a part of my ego self that doesn't feel okay with this limbo, resting, waiting, weaving period. So I'm really grateful, and I may start to cry because I've been very emotional lately when it comes to these things, much more so than ever before. Okay, and when guidance doesn't come in that extreme speeds, it can feel as though something has gone wrong. Oh, I love it. How they wrote this in the card, there's space, and they put one word on each line, so it goes like this. You know, it's a little book with lots of little thick paragraphs. There's lots of writing, but they separated it, and it says the words. There's only, 5 words, and they separated it by line. But often not receiving guidance is guidance in itself. I'm going to say that again. I need to accept that for myself right here in this now moment. Often, matter of fact, I'm going to say every single time, is there anything that's out of control? Is there anything that your highest version of self is not paying attention to? Never. So Every time not receiving guidance is guidance in itself. When you ask for guidance and don't receive it, it can often mean to wait and that it's not yet time. And then it separates these words at the details are being woven. And you know, really hard to wear a garment or use a blanket that's not complete, right? If it's not completely woven, what use is it? Part of the use, half of the use, a quarter of the use? It needs to be fully woven in order for it to serve its purpose, doesn't it? Our challenge is to keep trusting when, on the surface, it appears that nothing is happening. That's exactly what I've been trying to describe. Nothing is happening. And you know, there's just the little ego part of me that's saying, nothing's happening, hello. And I understand and feel the connection to the collective and how badass we've become. How incredibly we've dove into the depths of self, integrated all of the holy parts, both dark and light, and we're in the wholest, most beautiful state that we've ever been in. And nothing's happening. To remember that no matter how long or bitter the winter, and we are, look what we're heading into right now, and I'm feeling so strongly that this winter is a cocoon for the butterfly to emerge from. No matter how long or bitter the winter, spring does always come. And I already mentioned that if you go back in the beginning of the video, so this is very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? My words leave me often. It's very confirmative that my heart knew exactly what it was supposed to know, as it always does. All these things come afterwards as confirmations now, which is still really fun. I really love it. It's not leading me. My own Sacred Heart Center is, and yours is too. That's the badasses we become. We're just doing such a bang-up job at this thing that we came to do. But I get these confirmations because our higher versions of self and that grid that I talk about that you're connecting to fully understands that these things in the earth are important to us while we're here in this density. We can no longer depend on them. We can't focus on them. They can't be the lead role. But it's still important that we get encouraged by the things that are in this earth story. That's the graciousness and the kindness of the Holy One to itself, you and me. To remember that you don't need to solve all the world's problems in a single day. And I'm not interested in all the world's problems in a single day. I'm interested in one thing and one thing only. And that is moving at a frequency that resonates with the level of my remembrance and being that anchor and holding this space that I am here to hold. And I suppose that is all the world's problems, but I don't look at it from that perspective anymore. To solve all the world's problems in a single day. And that perhaps they'll be better solved with some perspective and a good night's sleep. This card is your permission to slip. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. To slip. That's how it feels. To slow down and to switch off and to rest. It feels so retarded some days to just be in this place that I'm in, where literally my days, day in and day out, consist of nothing happening. So I'm grateful for this little card, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for sharing this moment with me, this now moment. You're being reminded to have patience and to trust the mysteries of life, to trust that things are being woven on your behalf. It may not be happening to the timeline you'd like, but if you gather up the patience, it will be orchestrated better than you can ever imagine. And that's the truth. It's something that I've known and known and known again, and here I am knowing it again, being reminded of this truth. And how grateful I am of it, because I really needed that today. That was my question in my heart when I woke up this morning. How can you slow down and be more patient and wait? Well, that's pretty simple. By being a Nike commercial and saying, just do it. I'm just going to do it. But that card was absolutely perfect. So that's just my touch point that I'm sharing with you. It will be on Wednesdays. I'll do my best to keep it, because that's my day off. I have to work today, so it's better for me to do it on a day off when I focus on spirit. I focus on things of the internal kingdom. Because when I'm working, I'm constantly in the density of the three-dimensional, fourth-dimensional earth goings on. I just wasn't feeling well on Wednesday, and then honestly on Thursday I just forgot that I didn't even do it. And today I woke up and remembered, wait a minute, did I do that? No, you did not. So I just decided to do it now, and I'm grateful that I did. Still not feeling the best. I can feel, that little fluey sensation, feeling a little bit of ache in the back of the head, throat's a little But I'm beating it. I'm whooping it, and I'm going to whoop it because I have no time for being sick in this circumstance. So I just looked off to the right. Hydration, my bucket loads of water everywhere. So thank you for sharing this moment with me, and if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, that's the same, great, of course. And thank you for sharing this moment with me. I love you all so much, and you're all on my heart constantly. And one way, I'll just share this with you, it really helped me because when I make connections in my Earth story, I'm comprised of the type of human material that makes it next to impossible for me to let go, and that's for a reason. I'm intended to be an anchor. Anchors aren't supposed to let go. We're supposed to have the ability to hold on with all of our might. Thank you. Me as well. Love you. Thank you for that. We're supposed to hang on with all of our might. Something that really helped me, if you're one of those that has a hard time letting go, because you can even realize that you're not actually letting go because we don't ever gain or lose anything. We are connected, fully integrated all the time. It just, in the Earth story, does not get experienced that way. Easy to forget that. I know I do it all the time because of the way I'm wired. I wrote down the names of every individual that's been on my journey, that has moved themselves outside of my journey, that we are no longer in a combined hologram with each other. Our stories are no longer operating together. But yet it's been such an ache in my heart and a hard thing for me to let go. And I finally recognized this because I'm not intended to let go. There's nothing to let go of. But the little ego mind was trying to put it in the perspective that I'd lost something and that I had to let go and I couldn't, and it caused me to wrestle for a while, and I warred against self. And finally I just got this beautiful little aha moment that I would write their names down, and I have this special book for that. And I write their names down, and I'll bet you your name's in that book. Unless we're still in connection with each other and there hasn't been a separation in our stories. But I wrote all the names, and I mean all of them. There's some names in there that many of you would recognize. And I just put it as a piece of my heart that their names are in my book. So I have no need to be concerned that anything's being let go. I'm not letting go. I'm only walking it out in the story, that the physical ramifications of the story is that I'm not engaging with them in the story at this time. Could happen again in the future. We all boomerang back and forth all the time. Great. But what it did was it gave me, and the type of person that I am as an anchor, peace of mind. Because I'm not supposed to let go. And I've wrestled against that natural state of being for so long. I don't wrestle against it anymore. It's part of my superpower. I'm not supposed to let go because I'm a badass anchor. This is an anchor that sinks herself into the sand, and that ship ain't going nowhere. Not on my watch. So that being said, have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will touch base with you next week. And yeah, in the comments, if you want to, after the live, whenever you see it, share your touch points with me. It would be encouraging and wonderful to know the types of things that you utilize as a touch point in order to communicate and to connect in a dense way to the ethereal family that you are resonant with, that you know you're already connected to. So have a beautiful week, and I'll talk to you soon.